So, I'm in a reading slump. Hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel and welcome to another video where I'm gonna be trying to get out of the reading slump, and I haven't read at all in a week and a half. And before that, even maybe 3 weeks before that, I was definitely reading less than before, and I don't like this. I want to get out of this slump. And there are three my anticipated books that have come out in the last couple weeks that I have obviously not read, but I do want to read them, and I'm hoping that maybe reading books that I'm anticipating will help. But actually, before that, I am going to reread Project Hail Mary because today is March 15th and the movie comes out on March, I think, 19th in Portugal. So I am actually gonna be, today's Sunday, and so movies always come out on Thursdays in Portugal, and it's the 19th, and I'm gonna be watching it with my best friend on the 20th, so Friday. And I knew that I wanted to reread the book before watching the movie, so it's about time. I'm kind of running out of time a little bit, so yeah, I want to reread this. And actually, I did start my reread today while I was on my run. So I wasn't, physically reading it, but I was listening to it. And I don't know exactly where I am, but on my audiobook it said 19%. So I am 19% into this, and I am loving it as much as the first time. During my 1 hour run, I was hooked. I was not in daydreaming about anything else. I wasn't drifting off. I was locked in to what I was listening to. I was, just really into it, and I am absolutely loving it. So this is a good start to, trying to get out of the slump. I am absolutely loving it because I was scared that, rereading it while I'm in a slump would maybe make me not love it as much as the first time, because this is one of my favorite books ever. And yeah, I was scared I wouldn't love it as much, but I am absolutely loving it. Is it gonna be enough to get me out of the slump? Probably not, but I think I will want to continue reading this. It probably won't make me want to read other things, but at least I want to read this. So yeah, I am very happy that I am enjoying this once again. And I can't wait to get to the part where a new character comes in. I am so excited for that. And I'm also so excited for the movie. And it's going well so far, this trying to get out of the slump thing. And hopefully it will get better. Hopefully, after this, I will probably read one of the anticipated books that I told you about, most likely. So yeah, I have hopes that I will cure this reading slump. And if it doesn't work with that, we'll try other strategies. But I know that I will get through this. And I think last year as well, I got in a slump in March. And maybe the year before as well. I don't know where it is about March. But I usually do get in slumps, reading slumps, around March. So there's that. Because in January, I was reading a lot, more than my, average. But then it just, February went kind of in the normal-ish amount of reading, and March just really I slumped. So I don't know what it is about March, but it just makes me not want to read. So there's that. But yeah, I'm going to keep reading this. I don't know if I will read any more of it tonight, actually, because I am currently at my parents' house, but I do need to go back to my house because I work during the week. So I need to pack, I need to leave, I need to have dinner. And probably when I do get to my house, I will be kind of tired and I need to change my sheets and just organize stuff around my house. So I will most likely not want to be reading unless I am listening to my audiobook while doing those things. I will probably not read. I won't physically read probably. But anyway, so far so good. I am loving this. And yeah, let's hope that I get out of this slump. So it is Thursday, so it's been a while since I started this video, and in all these days I only made it to page 261, which is just over halfway through the book. And no, it's not a great sign, and I, however, am loving this book like as much as I loved it the first time. I am absolutely obsessed with what's happening, and like I am loving being in it. Like while I'm reading it, I'm absolutely loving it. I'm obsessed. But if I put it down, I don't feel the urge to pick it back up, which is my problem and not the book's problem. Like it's not you, it's me. And I know that's like me being in a slump and not like me not loving the book, because like I said, I am absolutely obsessed with what's happening. Like I love the plot, I love the main character, I love another character, and so like I am loving what I'm experiencing with the book. I'm just still in a slump, and yeah, I don't even know if I talk about what this book is. Like if you don't know what it is about, and like this is more about my slump than the books, but obviously I still want to talk about the books. So yes, we follow Ryland, and he wakes up at first he doesn't even know where he is, and he definitely doesn't know who he is. Like he has no memories, but he quickly discovers that he is in a spaceship and he's going somewhere, and he is already like pretty far from Earth. And then we get like flashbacks as he is also like getting his memories, and we learn that he is basically going on a mission to save Earth because the sun is like the energy of the sun is being consumed by something, and a team was assembled, and he is part of that team that is going somewhere to try to fix the issue, because like the sun is, like I said, losing energy, and the energy of the sun getting to Earth is like a lot less than it should be, and the Earth's temperature will like decrease, and obviously that will be very bad and people will die. And so there is this mission to save Earth, and it's called Project Hail Mary. He's the only person there, and he doesn't even know what he's supposed to do yet. Like he's piecing things together very slowly, and yeah, he's just like stuck in space. And we are like for a big chunk of the book just following him, which could be boring if he wasn't like as funny as he is. Like I absolutely love him. And yeah, there's a big thing that is spoiled in the trailer of the movie actually, but not in the synopsis of the books. I'm not gonna tell you. And like obviously when I saw the trailer, I had already read the books, like I wasn't spoiled, but like it's a big thing and it is spoiled in the trailer, which not great. But yeah, I love that thing that they spoil in the trailer, and yeah, it has happened at the point that I'm at, and I absolutely love it. I just I'm just struggling to want to read, not this book specifically because I love it, but just in general. And yeah, so like I said, today is Thursday, and actually today I also, again, nothing to do with this, but since I'm not really reading, I'm not doing reading like weekly vlogs, and I miss just sharing stuff, I guess. So today I had like my presentation at the lab meeting at work, which I have been like working on throughout the week, obviously, and I could use that as an excuse that I've had like less time to read, which like would not be a lie, but if I really wanted to read, I would have read more, so there's that. But I did have my presentation, which I think went pretty well. And yeah, like I've obviously been worrying about that and working on that, and that did take a lot of my time, but still that is not the excuse. But yeah, like I said, today is Thursday, and the movie actually, in Portugal it comes out today, but my bestie and I are gonna watch it tomorrow night. So can I read half of the book until tomorrow night? That is questionable, keeping in mind that it took me almost a week to read the first half of the book. Can I do that? I don't know, but I would love to. Like, I would love to finish the book before watching the movie. That has been the goal always. So I will try my best, because like I'm gonna be on a mission to finish this book. And again, I know I will enjoy it because I absolutely love it. It's not gonna be like, a boring chore. I will love it. I just need to get on the right mindset, and I will try my best. But yeah, I will surely finish it, whether it's before the movie or after. I will finish it and I will come back with how all that went, and also like I guess the movie, because I'm very excited for that. And yeah, so far I'm loving the book. I am not wanting to read that much. So yeah, definitely reading some not fixed. But yeah, I'm gonna shut up, I'm gonna go, and I will be back when I have finished the book and watched the movie. Okay, so it is now Sunday, but I did actually manage to finish Project Hail Mary on Friday before watching the movie, because I was working at the cell culture for, well, it wasn't 2 hours, it was almost 2 hours. So I definitely made a lot of progress there. Like I was listening to the audiobook while I was working with my cells, and then I just listened to it also like on the way home from work, and then just like while I was home, like getting ready to leave, and I finished it. I finished it like maybe half an hour before I had to leave my house to go meet my friend. So it worked out perfectly. However, it worked out terribly for my emotional state, because I went through like the second half of the story twice in one day. So I was emotionally not well. And yeah, but I loved it. I loved it so much. I definitely loved it as much as the first time. It is just, I love it so much. And I also really like the movie. It was very fun and at the same time very like emotional. And even my friend, who had like not read the book, so she had like no previous connection to these characters, even she almost cried. And I did almost cry as well. I think like 2 or 3 times at the end, like there were tears in my eyes. They did not like come out, but they were definitely in my eyes, and I, wiped them away when the movie ended. So yeah, I loved it so much. I love the book, I love the movie. There were definitely like some details that like were not in the movie. Like I just know them about the book, and I was like afterwards telling my friend like some details. Obviously, there are always more things in the book than that are in the movie, but still, I really like the movie. I thought it was great, and yeah, I, like I said, experienced that twice in the same day, which had its positives and its negatives, but mostly it was very positive, and I had a great time and I loved it. But am I out of a reading slump? Absolutely not, because on Saturday, well, like after the movies, my friend and I came over to my house. We like slept. She slept over here, and I mean, we stayed awake until I think 6:30 a.m. That's just like our usual thing. Every time we have a sleepover, we stay up until like 6 or 7 a.m. Like every single time, literally. But we're like, it was 6:30 and I was like, I've been awake for 22 hours, and she was like, please go to sleep. And I think I fell asleep like 2 seconds after I closed my eyes. So, but yeah, we were awake until 6:30, and then on Saturday, when we woke up, it was obviously late, and we just, had lunch at like 4 p.m. or later maybe, and just watched like stuff on YouTube. And, the rest of the day, I did not read a single thing. But today I have started actually a new book. And I actually started because I listened to the audiobook while I was working out. I didn't actively physically read anything, but I decided to start one of my anticipated releases that I think I mentioned when I started this video. And also I realized that like all the books that I mentioned, like Project Hail Mary and all the other like anticipated releases that I said I would maybe read to get out of this slump, like all of these books are sci-fi. And although I do love sci-fi, and I guess I am now in a sci-fi mood because I just finished this amazing book, I don't know if reading just sci-fi books would get me out of a slump. So I think I'm not gonna do that. Although like the one that I started is sci-fi, but after I finish this, I think I'm gonna most likely move to something else, like another genre. But the book I started is Hell's Heart, and I only got 15% in, so definitely not a lot. And do I, again, feel this urge to read? Not really. Am I loving it? Also, not really. Like, I'm not disliking it, but I'm just not feeling any type of way about it, really. And so, in this book, we are following a character, like, we don't really know her name. Like, the name that she gives is just like the letter I. And in this world, there are like, I mean, it is technically our world, like our galaxy, but they don't, like, she doesn't live on Earth. Human life has spread, basically. And there are these creatures that they call the Leviathans, and there are different sorts of Leviathans, and they like get some sort of substance from these Leviathans that then is used like as fuel, as energy. And so there are like groups that go out on missions to get this fuel. And our main character is looking for a job, and she is like, she's about to go on one of these missions, and then she meets another woman who she calls Q, or she only gives her the letter Q, and they are gonna embark on this journey together. And yeah, that's what I've gotten so far. And like, it's fine, I don't dislike it, but also like, I'm not that invested or that connected to the main character, so, or any other characters, like we're in the main character's head. I will try to read some more of it tomorrow and in the following days, and try to get out of this slump, which again, I am definitely not out of it yet. Although I absolutely love the book that I read, I am still very much in this slump. But yeah, I'm gonna read this book and see if it helps me. Okay, so has been a few days. I think it was Sunday when I last talked to you. It is now Wednesday night, and I finished a couple hours ago Hell's Heart. And I don't know if it's because of the slump or it really was just a book, but since I gave Project Hail Mary still 5 stars, I'm gonna assume it was the book. I didn't really like it, and I didn't like the main character, and I think that was the main issue, because we were just like in her head, in like first person POV in her head, because like we weren't like just following her. This was really a book that the main character was writing, so like, we were really in her head, and I didn't like being in her head, basically. And I didn't care, I didn't like her. And even like the plot in the beginning, like I was excited to see like this space voyage and these creatures that they were going after. But I don't know, I think it's just the way that the main character was like telling her story, the way that she was describing things, the way that she was interacting with people, I didn't like. And also like all of the like jokes are just like not funny, because what, like, the thing that they extract from these creatures, I think I talked about this in the beginning, that like they get something from these creatures that like is fuel, energy, whatever. And it's called, what is it called? I'm gonna have to look it up, because I don't know the actual word, because he's always saying the other word that I'm gonna say in a second, but I want to get the right word first. It's called spermaceti, and she's always just calling it sperm. And every time, and I mean every single time she says sperm, she's like, haha, I said sperm again. And I'm like, is this written by like a 14-year-old boy? Like, what is this? What is this? Because every single time, I'm like, maybe it could have been funny the first time, but like after the 30th time she made the same remark, I'm like, girl, seriously, get it together. And yeah, I didn't really like her. And even the plot, like, I wasn't that excited, because like the whole thing we were building towards, I don't think I've talked about this part, because I don't think I had gotten there yet, is like the captain of the ship, who she calls A, she wanted to find like the biggest Leviathan that exists, and some people thought it was just a legend, but like that was, you know, her one goal in life, was because she had like seen it before and she wanted to just, you know, catch it and capture it and kill it. And that was like the whole purpose of this voyage. And like I was at first excited for that because it sounded fun, but it, again, I didn't care even about that. I didn't really care about anything. Like the one part of the whole book I liked the most, I think, was actually the epilogue, where the main character was actually, you know, talking about things in a more serious manner. And I actually got to connect with her for like 2 seconds. That was actually my favorite part of the book. But yeah, like I didn't hate it. I think it sounds like I hated it. I didn't hate it, but I definitely didn't really like it that much either. I think I'm gonna give it 2.5 stars. Like it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great either. So yeah, I think I'm gonna give it 2.5 stars. So yeah, definitely did not help with my slump, but I also made some progress in Words of Radiance, because I've been reading this book for what now feels like 3,000 years, and I actually finished part 3. I am about to start part 4, and yeah, I started reading this like way before I got in a slump, but I was reading it very slowly and then I just stopped reading it. But I actually do remember everything that happened. Obviously not everything, because I've read 800 pages. But, you know, the main points, I do remember everything. So, like, I am retaining this information because I am really liking this book. I am just reading it very slowly. But, yeah, I did make some progress and I finished part 3. And I am still really, really liking it. But it is a lot for someone who's in a slump. So I will continue to go through it slowly. And, yeah, that's it. Those are my updates. And I actually think, like I said, I'm not gonna read like all of these sci-fi books back to back, especially because I didn't really like this one. So I'm gonna pause with the sci-fi for a second, I think. And I am actually gonna read the Duncan Egg novellas, because I watched A Night of the Seven Kingdoms and I was obsessed with it. I am still obsessed with it. I cannot move on. And I continue to think about that show 24/7 on a daily basis. So I'm gonna read the novellas. And they're pretty short. Like the first 2, I think, are around 80 pages, and the third is 100-ish. So like they are pretty short. Like it should be good for someone who's in a slump. I don't know if I'm gonna read like the 3 of them like back to back, but I am at least gonna read the first one, which is The Hedge Knight, and this is the first season, so like I already know this story, which could also help, and I already love these characters, which should also help as well. And am I gonna be sad about this story again? Yes, but I love that for me. So yeah, I have it here. I'm gonna start it probably tomorrow. Definitely not tonight, because it is midnight, so technically it's not even Wednesday, it's Thursday, but it doesn't change the day until I sleep. You know, that is how time works. So yeah, I'm not gonna start it tonight, but I will, like I said, most likely start it tomorrow, and I am actually very excited to read this and to just relive this trauma. You know, fun. Who doesn't love that? So yeah, I hope that when I come back with my next update, I will have, you know, happier updates, as in me loving a book that I finished. I'm gonna go and I will talk to you maybe Friday after I get back like to my parents' house. Probably, most likely. We'll see. Hello. Okay, so it is actually Sunday, the 29th of March, and I have some reading updates for you because I did read The Hedge Knight and I had such a good time with it. I absolutely Loved it, and I actually only started it on Friday. I only started it on Friday because I didn't want to like listen to the audiobook. I wanted to like actually, read it with my eyeballs. Like I wanted to read the words. And so I knew that, the time that I would have to like really sit down and read would be while I was on the train coming back like to my hometown. And so that is exactly what I did. And I actually only got through half of it on the train because I was commenting like literally every other page with my best friend. So, it took a while to read it, but I had such a fantastic time. And so I read half of it on the train on Friday, and then I read the other half on like yesterday, just here, literally sitting right here. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I had such a good time. And if you don't know what it's about, like if you haven't watched the show or read the book, so we are following Dunk, who is a hedge knight, and he is like he was a squire, and the knight that he squired for like dies in the beginning of the book, and so now he's like on his own, and he doesn't really have any connections. Like the only person that he hadn't had any sort of like relationship with was his knights. Like that's the only friend he had really. And so he's now on his own with his 3 horses, and he decides to go to Ashford where there is a tourney gonna happen, and he wants to enter the tourney and win and become a knight for like some famous house. And on the way there he meets a young boy who calls himself Egg, and he wants to be like Dunk's squire, and then like Dunk doesn't really want a squire, but eventually like they meet again at Ashford and he does become his squire. And then things go very wrong, and I don't know like if that's in the synopsis actually, so I'm not gonna say it, but it definitely gets like more intense. And I absolutely loved it. I loved it so much. And like the show was really so much like the book, and I had seen people say that, but like now that I read the book, I can attest to that. Like most conversations really, like they were word for word what's like they said in the show. And yeah, like it was so good. The only big difference that they made in the show, I think, was to like make Lionel be like a much bigger part of the story, which I think is a great change. I absolutely love that because I love Lionel so much. And so it was definitely great to have him like so much on the show, and I wish that he had been more present in the book. But other than that, like they were really, really, really similar. And yeah, I love these characters. I was like so incredibly connected to them already. So I love the book. It was so good. I don't think it was like 5 stars, like the 5-star feeling, but it was really good. It was a lot of fun. I think I'm gonna give it 4.5 stars. I'm still debating if it's 4.5 or 5, but either way, very high up there. And I also started another book, another one of the many sci-fis that I said I had like, lined up. And so this is Voidverse, and I actually started reading or like listening to it on my run yesterday, and then on my run today I read and listened to a bit more, and I am now at 36%. And like the Hedge Knight, I was really excited to read. Like I really couldn't wait to sit down and read it. In this case, not really, even like before starting the book. So like I mean to say that I am not out of my slump, because like there was that one specific book that I really wanted to read, but now like I was listening to it because I was like, I need something to listen to, and usually I'd rather listen to an audiobook than music while running, because an audiobook just distracts me better from the pain of running, from like all the suffering. So I usually do prefer to listen to an audiobook to have something to like really focus on other than the fact that I'm dying. So yeah, I decided to start this, but like it's not something that I am like, oh my god, I cannot wait to get back to the story. Nothing like wrong with the story, it's just me. Once again, I'm the problem. And I mean, I do feel like pretty neutral about this story, but like the last chapter that I listened to was the first chapter of part 4, and I think part 4 is going to be really interesting, like from the POV that we're in, I guess. POVs, maybe several. I'm not entirely sure really, but like the setting, I think is going to be more interesting actually. And so we've had like 3 parts, and the 3 parts were from different characters' POVs, but there was one character that was present in all of the parts. And so this is, set in space, And this is like, there is the void, which is just vast nothing with some rocks. And like, I at first thought that rocks were like planets, but now I'm not entirely sure if they really are like planets. I don't think so. They are just like pieces of land, but I don't think they are like, planet shaped. I'm not entirely sure though, but there is the void, and then there are these rocks where people live. And in the first part, we follow a character called Emory. I'm not entirely sure, but it was something like that, I think. And she lived in one of the rocks, and that was like the only thing she ever knew. And then one day, the sinker, which is another character that we follow, she gets like to the place where Emery lives, and Emery's son is actually sick. So she goes with the sinker to like another area, and she gets like the medicine. But when she's going back home, like her home is actually destroyed, and it's destroyed by the construct, which is something that the sinker talked about. And so this construct is a sort of machine. I think they call it like a rock machine or something like that, that like consumes other rocks to like get energy to power itself up. And so it destroyed like Emery's home. And also she has been having like some weird dreams about like the void and other things. And then we have like a second part where we follow the sinker. And then in the third part, we follow another character like in another rock. And the sinker also gets there, and the construct is also going for that rock. And now the fourth part is actually like, I guess from the construct, maybe, because says the construct. And the other parts were like, the title of the part was like the POV that we were following. So that's why I say that I think it's gonna get even more interesting. But yeah, there is this thing that is consuming other lands, planets, rocks, whatever, and just feeding on them to get like energy. And yeah, that's it for now. I am still not entirely sure what the whole plot is gonna be. I'm assuming they're gonna try to destroy the construct and like save the world, because I think like it's gonna have like really dire consequences. Like one of the things that the construct was going after, like if that's destroyed, I think it's gonna be like really bad for like the whole universe. So I'm assuming they're gonna, keep the construct from getting to it. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure. And it's going okay. Again, I am not, like, I'm feeling pretty neutral about it, and I'm not like dying to pick it back up. But I never know if like I'm the problem or the book is the problem. Because like while on my slump, I reread a 5-star book, but like it was a story that I already knew that I loved. And then I read The Hedge Knight, which I also loved. But again, it was a story that I knew that I loved because I watched the show and loved it. So like, I'm not sure that counts as me just loving a book in my slump if I already knew that I would love it. You know what I mean? And so yeah, and then Hell's Heart I didn't really like that much, and this one I am pretty neutral about. I am liking it more than Hell's Heart because I am liking the characters more, but I'm not loving it. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. But I'm going to make some progress on this. Probably not today, to be honest, but over the next week, hopefully. And I also have Words of Radiance here. I brought it with me. Did I read a single page since I got here? Absolutely not, but I have it. I will hopefully make some progress again during the week as well. If not, then I will have failed, I guess. And yeah, also not yesterday, like this night, we had like the time change. We are now at the like summer time thing, and I am very happy about that because I hate how early it was like becoming nighttime, and now we are finally at the time where we have sunlight, and I am very happy with that. Like it is 7:30 and like there's sun, and I am very happy about that. Also last night we had like I was watching a like Portugal's football as in soccer game against Mexico, and it was like in Mexico. So here the game was at 2 a.m. from like 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. So I was up with my dad like watching that. It was absolutely not worth it because they were not good, but that happened. And it was fun to watch a game in the sense that I do enjoy watching football games, but like the game itself, it was not great. It was definitely not great. I was actually getting pretty sleepy in the second half, but yeah. Also, like there was a time change, so technically it was like from 1 to 3 a.m. Even though it was from 2 to 4 because it was after the third time change. But whatever. So it wasn't like that late for me at all. It wasn't like sacrifice to stay awake. Like I would have been awake anyway, just like doing something else. But yeah, we watched that, and that has nothing to do with this video, but like I think I mentioned before, I'm not filming weekly vlogs because I'm reading like less than I usually would, so I'm just talking about whatever I would normally talk about in the weekly vlogs here. And yeah, I mean, that's honestly all that I had to talk about, I think, because nothing really that crazy has been happening. But yeah, I'm gonna, like I said, make progress hopefully in both of these books. Maybe I will start the next Duncan Egg novella. Who knows? Because I am still obsessed with them. And yeah, I'm gonna go now, and I will talk to you probably at some point during the week. Hello. Okay, so it is Tuesday night, and earlier today I finished Voidverse. And also, sorry if I look kind of distracted, it's because I am watching the game, like the football soccer game of like Portugal against the US. And if I seem distracted, it's because I'm listening to it. And it is currently almost 1 a.m. and the game is like from midnight to 2 a.m. basically, because it is in the US. So like here in Portugal, it's very late. But yeah, I am watching it, and I mean, I would have been awake anyway because I never go to sleep before 2 a.m. But now I have a specific thing to do in this time. But I also had like a bunch of things that I needed to film, so I'm also multitasking. And also, yeah, currently winning. I actually missed the goal because at first I was like updating another video that I really needed to like focus about what I was saying because it was like the plot of a book, so I was not listening. But they scored a goal apparently, and I just heard people outside yelling goal, and I was like, okay, like why would you not scream in the middle of the road at 1 a.m., obviously. So yeah, we scored. We are at least like when I was watching, which was like the first 30 minutes maybe, we were playing terribly, but somehow we are now winning, and the first half is almost over. But anyway, that has nothing to do with anything really. So I finished Voidverse earlier today, and I definitely enjoyed it more when we got to the POV of the construct, which I think is like where I was getting when I last updated you on Sunday, I think, yeah. So yeah, I definitely started to enjoy it much more because we got to really learn about the construct and like the people in the construct and like what they were after, like what was their purpose, why were they doing all that, and what they were seeking, and at the same time like what they were trying to prevent and what they were trying to accomplish. And I definitely liked it more when we got there, but I still I didn't love it, and I think it's because I didn't really like connect that much to any of the characters. Like the one that I liked the most was definitely the Sinker, and at the end we got like some personal stuff with her, which I did enjoy, but I was never really that attached to any of the characters. So I think that is why I probably didn't care as much about the plot, because I also didn't care really like if anything bad happened to the characters. I would be like, they're just not real, which obviously they're never real, but sometimes they're real to me, and these are just like literally words on a page, and I didn't really care about them, didn't really connect to them. But yeah, I definitely did enjoy more like parts 4, 5, and 6. I mean, 6 was just like literally the little last bit of the book, so mostly parts 4 and 5 I definitely enjoyed more, and I got more invested, and I did have a good time. And I think I'm gonna give it 3.5 stars, because it's definitely more than a 3, but I definitely don't think it's a 4. So yeah, 3.5 sounds good. And am I out of a reading slump? It might seem like it because I am reading, but I've literally mostly been just like listening to the audiobook when I'm either like running, like in the weekend, or like yesterday and today while I was working out, I was listening to the audiobook as well. And also like I listened to it on the subway on the way to work today. So, you know, it's not like I am, you know, actively sitting down and reading. That I only did with the Hedge Knights. The rest, like, I don't crave doing that. So I don't think I am out of a reading slump, which is, you know, not great, because that is the whole purpose, is to get out of this reading slump, and I'm not out of it. And also I have no idea what to read next. I am still like in the middle of Words of Radiance, so I have that going on as well, and I have made some progress on that, but I will, you know, continue reading that. But, you know, other than that, because I like to be reading multiple books at once, even if I'm in a slump, I like to have multiple things going on. I like to have many things to focus on at the same time, which is probably not a good thing. And I have no idea what book I'm gonna go into next. There are several options. I could maybe, I mean, I was gonna say a fantasy, but I am reading Words of Radiance, so maybe not a fantasy. Maybe like a thriller, because that would be like fast paced. I don't know. I really do not know. But like I was saying, today is Tuesday night. Technically, it's Wednesday. And so tomorrow, aka today, I'm going to be at the biobank all day, which sucks, but hopefully it'll be okay. And then on Thursday, we actually are, I think, gonna have the afternoon off. And Friday is a holiday because it's the Friday before Easter, so it's a holiday here. And yeah, usually we also get like the afternoon of Thursday off, so that's exciting. I'm gonna go home earlier, and actually I don't know how early I'm gonna leave because I do have some work to do in the afternoon, but I am hoping to leave earlier than usual. I will hopefully want to read something, and yeah, I'll talk to you either like on Friday, like the holiday, or at some point during the weekends. And hopefully one day this video is gonna end. Hello, okay, so it's Monday. I have no idea what day I talked to you actually. I think I said that I was gonna talk to you on like during the weekend, but then I realized that I think I'm actually gonna finish this video because I think I am out of my slump, so I was just gonna finish it after I finished like the books that I was reading, and I finished like one of them last night, so I am here now. And yeah, so it is Monday, and during the weekend I didn't read like too much because I had a lot of things to do, because like yesterday was Easter, so some of my like family members were having lunch like at my parents' house, so like obviously we had to prepare and like cook things and stuff, and we had a lot of like things to buy and do, and so I didn't have like that much time to read, but still like I finished 2 books, and I want to read, which is what matters the most, and I am very happy about that. But I think we can start by this one, which is actually the one that I finished yesterday. The other I finished on Saturday, but I finished Words of Radiance, which is crazy. I've been reading this book for months because I mean, I was just reading it very slowly, like from the beginning, even before I got in my slump. Because, like, I've just been very busy in general, and so I didn't have, like, that much time to sit down and read this long ass book. This is over 1,200 pages. It's 1,208 pages long, so, you know, obviously took a while, but actually made a lot of progress this last week, and I finished it yesterday, and I really liked it, but I have a whole video about it coming, so I'm not gonna get into any details. But yeah, I had a really good time. It took a very long time, but I enjoyed my time reading it a lot. And yeah, I finished it yesterday, and then the other book that I read, I don't think I had even started when I last talked to you, and it was The Last Oracle, which is book, I want to say 5 of the Sigma 4 series, which is like a mystery thriller-ish series that either has like sci-fi or fantasy elements in the different books. And we follow members from the Sigma Force team organization, and they basically have to like figure mysteries out and kind of like save the world. And we usually follow like 3 to 4 members of the team. And so, I mean, sometimes we follow like just 1 or 2, but when they're all together, and in this case we follow like all of them that we knew about, I think, if I'm not forgetting anyone. And so in this particular book, like one of them was just like when they walking down the street, and this guy like comes up to him, and then he's shot, like the other guy, and he actually gives him like a coin that is an ancient artifact, and it's like connected to the oracles of Delphi. I think it's Delphi. And they start like investigating like why that person would even be attacked, and like what the artifact is about. And then they meet some people, and at the same time like other members learn about a whole operation that was conducted with like some children with some sort of like special abilities, and they were being like used for something. And then there is another member of the team that like wakes up somewhere, has no memory of how he got there or even like who he is, and has to basically figure everything out and like get out of there. And obviously like everything comes together at the end, and I did really like how everything came together, because in these books there are always like groups of people in various different parts of the world, and this one was no exception. And I also really like how the author does this mix of like fantasy and sci-fi elements, but with like real life history. I do always really like that, and I also did really like it in this book specifically. And yeah, I had a lot of fun with that. I think I'm gonna give it like 4 stars probably. And yeah, that's it. But what matters the most is I've been reading, and I do want to read. So I think I can say that I am out of my slump, and this video is going to end because we have achieved our goal. And actually I think this video is incredibly long, because yesterday I was checking like the clips that I had for it, and it's long. It is definitely long, so it's a good thing that I am out of my slump and I am ending this video because it was about time. So yeah, that is it. That is everything for this video. I am very glad that I am out of my slump. I'm very glad that I am, you know, wanting to read again. I'm very happy about it. And yeah, that is everything for this video. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you have enjoyed it. And if you did, give it a like and subscribe. And I will talk to you next time. Bye!